Hey, what's up guys, Joseph Booster and welcome back to another One Piece gameplay video. Today I have a match from locals between Garp on the left and myself playing Magellan on the right. Both these decks I think are pretty underrated. I definitely think Garp has some very cool options. And I honestly think this leader might be really good in the future because the effect on it is just very strong. You know, synergizing with the cost reduction and the cost popping of black. And then I think Magellan is a pretty good anti-meta pick, specifically going into Whitebeard. So yeah, we won't really be seeing that here necessarily. We see the hand being shown there, like guard point double Whitebeard, or Edward Newgate I should say. And just passing turn. Sadly, the camera angle is a little bit off, so the life of my opponent is not on the screen, which is a little bit sad. But it was kind of hard to place my camera like it should be on this specific table. So we will just have to keep track of life in the head, I guess. Anyway, for me we see Hannibal coming down, adding the Mina Koala to the hand. And that will just be it for the turn, because of course we can't attack yet. And there's no second Hannibal, sadly, so yeah. Opponent going to triple Don, going to swing in with the Garp, which I'm just going to take. And now for 3 Don he's going to play down the Smoker. The one that can't be KO'd by card effects, and that if there's a 0 cost in play, it gains 2000 power on attack. Magellan going to swing in here for 5, which he's just going to take, so he's 3 life now. And then I'm going to play the Koala, which I added previously, which is just it's just nice. It can be a little bit aggro since it does have the 5000 power, but it's also just a blocker, and it has the kind of a ramping effect, which might come up going into the late game. It specifically combos very well with like the bigger drop guys like Kaido. But yeah, we won't be seeing that yet, of course. Anyway, my opponent here going to swing in for 6, which I'm just going to take, so probably don't really have a 2k counter in hand, even though I'm not a huge fan of countering very early game anyway. And he's going to play the Luffy from set 1, which I wasn't familiar with actually, but it does have quite good synergy with Garp because you can put Rested Done under it. And then you can trigger the Garp effect to reduce cost. And then the character Garp comes down, which is one of the best cards in the Garp deck, because it pretty much can just out everything in this specific deck. Which of course very strong. Shouldn't really have to explain that. And we're definitely going to be seeing some cool Garp action. I'm not sure if it's on the next turn or the turn after that, but yeah, my opponent's really going to do some really good plays. I'm just going to play down the Uta here. Go play a little bit more defensively, so we don't have access to something like Queen or Magellan here, which is definitely sad because those are the cards you do want to be seeing at this point in the game, and not having any of them, a little bit unfortunate. But you know, it is what it is. Also going second, definitely not what you want to be doing with the Magellan deck. So 2 done under Garp, put Uta to 2 cost. Then he's thinking here where he's gonna put the Dawn, but I think it's gonna end up under the Garp. Yep. I'll put the Uta to 1, and here I get definitely wrecked by the Meteor Volcano, which is going to be played very well played by my opponent here, which means that he can now rest 2 Dawn, and then he can put the 2 rested Dawn under the Luffy and start reducing the Koala with the Dons. And then he has 2 Dawn left, which we see here, to reduce the Koala to 0 cost eventually, and then the Garp can of course just out it with attacking, just kind of clearing my entire board. So yeah, very strong turn from Garp here. Yeah, putting the Koala to 0 cost, and now when the Garp swings in, he can just pop the Koala. And I do get the rested Dawn, which is nice, but I mean, it's definitely looking better for my opponent than it is for me. Let's put it like that. Yeah, I'm just going to 2k counter there with a Sadie, I think. And yeah, take the Garp hit. And it's going to swing in with Luffy, which is 5k, but I do counter that as well. And now I'm going to 9 dot already, I think. Is it? Yeah, so that went quite fast. Usually you don't really hit the high Don numbers in this deck very fast. But yeah, I didn't play any of the minus Don cards up until this point in the game, right? So not necessarily a good thing to be at this amount of Dons. Going to yeah, I pretty much have to out the Garp because it just poses such a huge problem. So I'm gonna swing over with the Hannibal, then finally get the queen, draw 2, discard 1. The Magellan is boosted, and then I do still have 1 active Don, so I can swing over the leader if I want to with the Magellan, which I'm going to do. But in hindsight, I think I probably should have just tried to out the Luffy instead of outing the Garp. And he's going to take the life here. But yeah, I definitely should have outed the Luffy, I think. But yeah, you know what they say, hindsight is 20/20. And now my opponent is going to go to... should be 9 Don, I think, as well. Which, of course, is the famous amount of Don you need to be dropping Daddy Whitebeard. And exactly, yeah, there it is. We already saw he had it in his hand, right? Because he showed this to the camera. And now the Garp is going to swing over the 7k. Because it got boosted by Whitebeard. Or Edward Newgate. I'm going to block with Queen and then drop a 2k counter to save the Queen. And then the Luffy is going to get the 2 Dons. And he's going to... consider attacking with the Smoker, but he's going to swing with the Luffy instead over the Hannibal. Now the Smoker is just 4k again. So it can't really swing in. See, my opponent makes like a little misstep here, but I let him take it back, of course. It's just locals, right? So yeah, and it's my turn. I go to the 10 Don. And I really have to get something going at this point because my opponent is set up really, really well and I am just set up not really, really well. Not really having the best start here. Usually when you see the Hannibal, I tend to be like, okay, the hand should probably get good at some point because you can just start digging for the 5-drop Magellan, but we just didn't see it and the Queen came kind of late, so yeah. Going to swing in for 9k over the 7k Garp and he's going to counter with the 2k Brook and the 1k Smoker. I still have 6 Don left. I'm actually going to go a little bit aggro with the Queen swinging with 8k, so we'll have to drop another 2k counter. And I think I do this because I have another blocker in hand, if I remember correctly. I think we see the Domino in hand. So I'm actually just going to pass turn, so I probably have the double Hell's Judgment. Oh, alright, because playing the Domino wouldn't really accomplish much, because the Whitebeard could just pop it with the unattacking effect. Right. But yeah, definitely not looking too good for me. And yeah, this is basically, spoilers, this is basically the turn where I lose the game, because I figured next turn I would just protect my Queen with the double Hell's Judgment and then try to get rid of his last life and attack for game on the next turn. But, you know, because the Garp gets boosted to 7k, it will be extremely hard now to actually, you know, get those numbers to or just to get over the Garp and to take the life. And, you know, facing against 2 9-drops is going to definitely be not the easiest thing in the world. So I'm just going to go for the Hell's Judgment here. I think I did it on the Garp and the Whitebeard. And then Luffy is going to swing in as well, which I'm going to counter as well. It's a shame of the camera angle, because it's kind of annoying not being able to see the counters and the life of my opponent. But yeah, it is what it is. I thought this match was really good and really fun between those decks, though. So I was like, yeah, might as well just upload it anyway. And yeah, here I'm just going to try to go for game. Put 4 down under the Magellan. And he has the guard point, so there's it's just pretty much over. From this point on, it's just gonna be me struggling against this this insane board of the double Whitebeard and stuff. I just never really got much going. I played down the Uta and have the other Hell's Judgment in my hand, but it's not really going to matter, right? Because my opponent still has the 1 life, so just going to be so hard to both my guys have to stay alive, both the blockers. Or, well, not both the blockers, but at least one of them has to stay alive for me to at least to try to push next turn. Now he's going to put 2 down under the Garp, reduce my Uta, and now the Kobe is going to get rid of my my Utai discards King Duo there, which I think is an interesting card to be playing in this list. Really curious what else he's playing in the list. Regardless, I think the deck's really good. Then going to give some done to the Luffy, reduce the Queen. Going to swing in with 7k on my Magellan, I think, on the leader. And yeah, I'm going to do the Hell's Judgment, I think, here to reduce the Garp and the Luffy. So now you can just swing in with both the Whitebeards if you want. So I'm just going to take it, and then I can try to push for game next turn. Attempt to do so, but you know, it will probably not be successful, right? It's going to put a lot of done under Luffy. Force me to probably still counter this attack. Now he's going to go... Oh, right. And now the Smoker's actually boosted as well by the... Right, I see. Because the Queen now has a cost of 0, so the Smoker's going to swing in for 7k as well. I'm going to block there and discard one of my counters. And I do this because I would... Like, if I don't, I'm going to die anyway. So I was going to run over the Queen, and at this point, yeah, the game's just, it's just literally over. Because he still has 1 life, so I can't even try to close out the game next turn. But if I didn't do this line of play, then I would have just lost on the spot, because I think I only have like 2 cards in hand. And they're like 3k counter worth, so I don't think there was like a way for me to survive if I didn't do the block. And then at this point, I finally do see the Magellan, but... In the late game, this card's just basically a blank. It doesn't really accomplish anything. And now next turn, we're just going to see my opponent swing for game. Oh well, I'm just going to try to swing with the Magellan, of course. Keeping the 2 done open, just in case the Hell's Judgment is the last card in my life, then maybe I can survive the next turn. But I'm just going to swing in for 8. Run over the Luffy finally. Definitely should have done it way a long time ago. But, I didn't really underestimate how strong this Luffy was in this deck. Definitely one of the reasons why I lost. But yeah, my opponent definitely played out really well, and now he's just going to finish off the game with the Whitebeards, I think. And it's just going to be it. So yeah, very cool game. I definitely think both these decks are very cool. I think Magellan is good. I think Garp is definitely good. Both very undervalued. And yeah, just wanted to show off this game, even with the, let's just say, imperfect camera angle. Now the Kobe's going to swing in, and yeah, that's just going to be it. So I'm already going to say GG, because the game is going to be over in yeah, literally after these attacks. Yep. GG, and like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.